Okay, so now we're going to go over the very last Now You Try letter D in this packet. If you haven't had a chance to go through letter D on your own, now is a good time to stop the video and to work through letter D on your own so that you can use this video to check your answers, to make sure that your answers align with the answers that we're going to get in just a second. In letter D, we want to make sure that we have our setup correctly. So if we look at letter D is very similar to what example 2 was. We have a trinomial that we're dividing our quartic by. So our trinomial is in standard form and has all zeros where needed. Since we don't need any zeros, we have y squared minus y plus 1. We don't have to add any zeros in there since everything's represented. So y squared minus y plus 1 goes on the outside. On the inside, we want to double check and make sure that our quartic function has everything represented as well as it's written in standard form. So if you notice, the 4 to the 2 to the 1 to the 0 are descending order, so we know that our quartic is written in standard form, but we have a cube that's missing because we go from the 4 and we jump right to the 2. So we're going to fill in that cube with a 0 so that we have every placeholder represented before we start dividing. So if I rewrite this, I got y to the 4th power plus, since we don't have a cube, we're going to fill that in with 0y cubed plus, and then we'll pick it up back here, 2y squared minus y plus 5. So now we have everything represented and it's in descending order, which means we're in standard form. So starting from the top, we need a number up top that when we multiply to y squared, we get y to the 4th power. So what times y squared gives us y to the 4th power? And that would be y squared. So again, we want to write that number above in the same column as the other square. So y squared times y squared gives me y to the 4th. If we multiply through, we get y squared times negative y, which is negative y cubed. I'm going to add a little 1 there as a placeholder. And y squared times positive 1 gives me a positive 1y squared. Doing the same thing that we did in example 2, we're going to subtract all of our terms. Wherever we have double negatives, we can fill them in as positives. Y to the 4th minus y to the 4th cancels out like we wanted it to. 0y cubed plus 1y cubed gives us 1y cubed. And 2y squared minus 1y gives us a positive 1y squared. Since we have nothing left over, we have our trinomial still on the outside. We want to bring down our next term. The little y has a 1 out in front, so we can do that so we can make sure our numbers all match up. So what times y squared gives me 1y to the 3rd? That would give us 1y. 1y times y squared gives us 1y to the 3rd. 1y times negative y gives us a negative 1y squared. And 1y times 1 gives us a positive 1y. Subtracting all these numbers, wherever we have double negatives, we can fill in with our positives. 1y cubed minus 1y cubed cancel out to give us 0, just like we wanted. 1y squared plus 1y squared gives us 2y squared. And negative 1 minus 1 gives us a negative 2y. Still have a trinomial on the outside. We can still bring down one more number, so we're going to bring down our positive 5. When we do that, we want a number up top that when we multiply to y squared, we get 2y squared back out. So we have our y squared represented. We know that that number has to be a positive 2. Our constants match up. They're in the same column. 2 times y squared gives us 2y squared. 2 times negative y gives us a negative 2y. And 2 times positive 1 gives us a positive 2 when we multiply. Subtract all our terms. Double negatives make it a positive. Negative 2y squares cancel out. Negative 2y plus 2y also cancel out, and 5 minus 2 gives us 3. We have nothing else to bring down, so we know that 3 is going to be our remainder, so we can write our answer as y squared plus 1y, or just y, plus 2 plus 3 is our remainder, all over y squared minus y plus 1. And that's our final answer for the Now You Try. If you have any questions tonight, feel free to email me. Otherwise, we will go over these problems and have a couple more practice problems to work through tomorrow.